Heavy duty crew, welcome back to the Acadiana Muscle. You know, if I do have my way, I'll train here every time. Sometimes life throws wrenches and we got to go other places, but I'm sure happy to be home. And I'm feeling good today, feeling spunky. And we're gonna do something a little different. So it's been on my mind. It's been plaguing my thoughts. It's been like a steady drip, drop, drip, constantly nagging, keeping my attention, and it needs to be fixed. I need to seal it off. And what am I referring to? Other than the truth that I haven't deadlifted in 2 years or more. I think it was during prep in 2023 for the Kuklo, and maybe it was actually 2022. I think it might be 3 years since I pulled a deadlift. Deadlifts were a critical component of my physique. It was foundational. It's something I did for the first 8-9 years of training. I was an incredible puller as a natural. I could pull 3 times my body weight at 180 pounds. I deadlifted 555 for a single conventional. And I could pull 500 for 10 reps. I did a 585 for 3. That was both in the same day. And it's something I never specialized. You know, I didn't specialize or have a training block deadlifted to deadlifts or did any kind of powerlifting programming. It was just grit and intensity and muscle mass. So what's nagging me is I feel that, yes, my physique is much more developed. I do have different goals, yes, but I still want to be able to do that. I still want to be able to pull, and today I'm going to test to see where I'm at. You know, how much strength have I lost? I don't expect to pull 500 pounds. I'd like to today, so we're going to see how close I could get to that. How strong is my lower back still? How strong are my erectors still? My son is having an absolute fucking meltdown right now. He was sleeping in the truck on the way here, and now he awoke, and he's not happy. Anyway, so this is not going to be for hypertrophy reasons. I'm not going to be doing this to stimulate growth. I'm going to look to pull a triple. My top set will probably be just like a triple or maybe a double. Just want to see what I can do, get the groove in, and then I'll move on to the rest of my workout. It's kind of a mix in between. It works out too because my wife really wants to train back, and it's supposed to be our glute and hamstring focused leg day. So we'll start off with a deadlift and then we'll move on to our back training. So let's see what happens. 3 years layoff. We'll see what we can do with the barbell. We've got a deadlift bar, which is pretty cool. I've never pulled on one of those. So if I can only pull 315, that's the reason. We'll pull more than that. But yeah, a benefit to adding this back in or doing this for a little while, I want to build up my erectors again. And I haven't really had any work that's erector specific aside from just doing the occasional hinge for my hamstrings and glutes. But if I want to be a bigger, better bodybuilder and I want to level up again, I'm to the point now where I'm not focusing on any weak part of my physique anymore. I've really balanced out my physique. There's some areas that I do want to touch up on, but from a broader perspective, I need to build my foundations up, right? I mean, foundationally, I need to lay a whole new slab and build again. Because it's not like we're fixing windows or putting a patch in the roof or, you know, doing some flooring. It's like, no, I need to build a bigger, better house at this point. If I'm going to level up in my bodybuilding career on stage, I need to transcend to a new level. And that may sound counterintuitive, like I just said, I'm not going to be doing this for hypertrophy, but I want to ensure that I still have that slab to build on. And if I can't deadlift 405 pounds anymore, and I was deadlifting 550 as a natural, you know, 7-8 years ago, we need to address that, right? So I'm gonna add this in a strength context. We're gonna practice a movement pattern. We're gonna start to build up that skill. We're gonna fortify our lower back and build up our erectors, but we're not gonna be training this lift as a normal heavy duty top set, right? The sheer fatigue that I would generate by doing a top set of deads, I remember back in the day, deadlifts was its own day. It was not a back day, it was not a leg day, it was deadlift day. I went in and I pyramided up to a top set of deadlifts, and that was the workout. I've thrown up a few times, got some wicked hemorrhoids. Yeah, deadlifts. So I'm feeling good, I'm feeling spunky, and I gotta stop that little drip. I gotta get that nagging out of my head. So about to see what happens. Let's do it. All right, so this is what I remember. And when you deadlift, guys, you wanna wear pants. I've left a lot of blood and skin on the barbell in the past. It was a common thing for there to be blood on the barbell when I finished deadlifted, have it running down my legs. I've got dimples in my shin bones from it. So I wore pants today. I got long socks on underneath. You want to have some thin shoes. You don't want a big cushion. You don't want to be floating around in soles. So that's why you see a lot of people deadlift barefooted. That's a thing too. It's very interesting. Like when I warmed up with the plate and 2 plates just now, that's a grooved movement pattern. It's been 3 years since I pulled, but it felt really natural. It felt really natural to me, so I find that funny. My lower back is already pumped. Probably just because it's weak, to be honest. But let's see how 315 moves. I don't feel like pulling an over-under grip, so I'm just gonna use straps because I'm a big sissy. See, I didn't pull that together. I just lifted that with my erectors. There we go. All right. I don't know. We might pull 500 pounds easy today. Feeling pretty easy. Okay, so 315 moves easy. Let's do 405. I don't want to waste my time going through small increments. I still feel pretty good. It's not even a grind, but it shouldn't be. I mean, I'm 220 pounds. I should be deadlifting pretty fucking easy. You know, 315 pounds anyway, so yeah, there's nothing to note here. Oh, about the pants and the socks, for you newer guys, you want to keep the barbell as close to your body as possible. You want the weight to be as underneath you as possible, as close to your heels as you could drive through. That way you're focusing that weight all throughout your posterior chain. The further and further out it gets, the more force you're putting into your lower back, and the more disadvantageous the lift is to you, the harder and more difficult it becomes. And it's more dangerous that way. So yeah, you're gonna be dragging it up your shins if you're doing it right. And that doesn't feel good. But you gotta be careful when you're lowering it so that you don't drop it on your own knees. And that's why there's technique. You know, you do it light, you practice. This is a skill-based movement. There's a lot of skill that's involved with deadlifting. It's a specialized lift in itself. Not efficient for hypertrophy, but I've said this and I will hold on to this until I die. It is foundational. You younger guys with little experience at the gym, only a few years in, I think that everybody should get up to a 405 pound. You should work up to between 400 and 500 pound deadlift before you start trying to specialize in hypertrophy like I've been doing. Just so that you build up your lower back, you build up a set of glutes, you build up a set of erectors, you learn how to brace, you have a foundation laid. All these little weenies wanting to get into hypertrophy specific training and get all science-based and become evidence-based educators and all this other shit, and you know, you can't even deadlift 4 squares. I mean 4 circles. That's shitty. Anyhow, let's watch myself get weak right here. Lord, protect my body. Okay, well, let's see what we can do at 5. Y'all remember this? Y'all remember this? That's a throwback. That belt been sitting here on this squat rack a long time. Shit, I had this belt before I got to the muscle. Well, hey Bubba, I need you to back away from the bar, okay? I need you to back up. Watch your head, Mama's behind you. Now I'm getting scared. Not bad. We're gonna put another plate on it and see if I can pull it. What the hell? So here we are. 585. See what happens. I'm nervous, man. I'm scared. And the 500 went up easy, so I think I got this. I got Mincer looking down on me. I know he's proud. Ah. Lord Jesus, protect my body. We'll do it again next week. That was enough. I definitely need to groove the pattern. I need to move that more and more and more because that just felt alien. That felt very new, and I was figuring out how to pull it as I was going through the different parts. So I'm a weak bitch still, but I'm not as weak of a bitch that I thought I was. So that's pretty cool. I can still pull it, right? I can still pull that much. It's not that much, but it's something. So we're gonna just move on to our standard back training. I've warmed up to what'll be my top set on a pull down here. Boy, I was sure excited to document that deadlift, and looking back and seeing that I have no fucking head is infuriating beyond measure. I asked my helper to make sure the camera was set right, but yeah, when I get home, I am going to spend $700, get the 4K camera with the front facing screen. So that will never happen again, guys. We're gonna have better content. We're gonna be in frame, and I'll make sure of it. But yeah, my head's all fucked up. I'm very, very irritated. I wish I could justify it with being on a high dose of anabolics or something, but I'm not. So, anyway, let's crank this shit out. Sometimes when straps don't want to flip the right way, it can mess up everything. So right there, my perception of effort was kind of getting fucked up. And there's some pain in my forearm. And this is something I've dealt with in the past when doing things overhanded. And that's why hold downs especially I always do with a supinated grip. And just feeling it kind of got in my head there, but whatever, we'll move on. All right, take 2 with the microphone this time. What I've got left to train on as far as the back goes is the rhomboids and traps. So what that's gonna look like is that's scapular retraction, protraction, right? I mean, that's the shoulder blades wrapping around the torso and pulling back. Those are the muscles that do it. That's what I'm gonna be focusing on. It's not gonna be all worrying about getting my elbow back. Getting my elbow back, tracking my elbow along my torso is the function of my lats. So I'm not gonna be doing the T-bar row standard. It's gonna be more like a scapular row, Kelso shrug on this T-bar. The reason I'm here is because the low row machine, I can't add any more weight to it, and I had it banded. That's how I was progressing on it with the bands. I really, really like that, but one of them is torn, so I'm not gonna be able to do that. And doing it isolateral does not produce the same kind of feel. It turns it into a lat row. I have to do it bilaterally to hit the muscle groups that I'm wanting to hit. So yeah, we're gonna do a scapular row. I won't need a lot of weight on this to get the range of motion I'm wanting and to get the real contraction that I'm going for. If I put too much weight on it, I'm gonna be focusing on using my lats to get it up, and that's gonna defeat the purpose. I also don't like pulling my body, you know, having all that weight pushing into my chest, you know, getting on this chest support, just crushing me. That adds so much perception of effort and just totally fucks up the feel. And you've heard me say it a lot, you know, the feelings don't matter, but to me, it's a great confirmation that the work we're doing is specific, you know, and it is targeted. So I would like to feel it, and I want to feel my traps, I want to feel my rhomboids, I don't want to feel my chest, I don't want to feel my lats, so I don't need to stack this thing with plates all the way out to the end. I mean, we both know I could. All the guys that do that shit don't have big backs. They don't, sorry. Go look at all these evidence-based coaches, evidence-based hypertrophy coaches. You see that in their bio, you turn them around, they don't have backs and they don't have triceps either, funny enough. But anyhow, enough about them. Let's try to get one more effective set in. My head's not in it. It was when I got here, I was so happy, but I got upset and just dopamine depleted. No happy no more. So yeah, I'm gonna try to execute this the best I can. Just coming up with something on the fly. Nothing else I see in here that I want to do to target this area. So gonna do this, here we go. You probably can't hear so good because the fans are always on, but I'm not gonna be grabbing it wide, I'm gonna be grabbing it close. So I can really focus on that retraction. If I'm out here, it's disadvantageous. I'm gonna want to incorporate my lats. So keep it close. I'm gonna use the straps because it was putting a lot on my hands. I feel like I'm gonna break a rib. Oh, starting to lose the range of motion. And that's it. That range of motion. Ooh, doesn't look like much, but I can feel my traps in the center of my back really torched, and we lost half of our range of motion. I could no longer contract it completely. That's failure. It was no longer performing the function that I wanted it to. Task failure, is that what it's called? So yeah, that's that. Because I feel like maybe my other sets were a little lackluster due to my mental disposition, I'm gonna go ahead and just do a set of cable pull downs. I would do the press today, but we trained chest and shoulders 3 days ago. So I'm just gonna not do the push. I'm not gonna worry about it. My chest is still a little sore, to be honest. Today was supposed to be a leg day, but we changed it up and blah blah. And my bicep forearm is still tender, so I'm gonna not worry about that. We'll just go ahead and do a set of pullovers. A cable pull over, pull down. You'll see it. Standing something. To follow our theme of sensationalism, this movement is absolutely sensational. One of my favorite back movements of all time, and it is the standing cable pullover. I feel this from the traps all the way to the lats. When I'm in the extended position, I feel it in the center of my back in those rhomboids, lower part of my traps. And as I complete the pull down, I feel it in my lats. And it's frankly fantastic. And warming up, it was a big confirmation that that scapular row I did hit exactly where I wanted to, because those areas were already activated. I could feel them being fatigued coming into this set, so that's fantastic. So we're just gonna go ahead and bang one of these out. Watch the form here, guys. Try this movement. I don't do a wide position on the hands. I like my hands a little closer together. And it's fantastic. It gives a great range of motion. I like to be bent over a little bit more. The further you're bent over, when you're in that extended position, you really feel that center part of your back engaged. Now, it may not be, it may go against the biomechanics, but like I said, this is about sensationalism. I'm being sensational right now. Being sensitive. I'm pretty sensitive today. Anyhow, here we go. Yes. Yeah, I'm doing this set and we're gonna leave, okay? Watch out, baby. Yeah. Okay. Don't touch it. Good set. Yeah, what a great finisher. I hate that word. I think finishers are retarded. Most people's finishers are just a sign that they didn't train the body parts, but this was a great way to tie it all together, and I really felt everything. Got the last out of it right there. Ooh, mid back, lats especially in the end. Traps hit, touched up again. Wow. Well, I think we salvaged it with the last two. And hey, we pulled 585 pounds today. Haven't pulled anything in 3 years off the floor. I think that's pretty impressive. Let me update you guys. Let's see what the physique looks like real quick. We'll drop our pants. It's penis inspection time. Bad. Not bad.